You ever sit down to make a melody and 45 minutes later you're still dragging notes around like you're trying to solve a Rubik's Cube with one eye closed? What if I told you the problem isn't your creativity, it's your process? In this video I'm going to show you how to build melodies way faster. Stuff that trains your ears without you even thinking about it. And slight changes that'll separate you from producers that overthink every little note. Some of these tips might sound weird. You'll move faster and make better music because your creativity won't be buried under perfectionism anymore. Let's get into it. This is called the bouncy ball method. Most producers stay in the same octave when they're clicking in notes, but jumping between octaves might be the quickest way to snap your ears back into focus. It's like hearing raindrops trickle into a pond of water and then you throw a huge rock in. It's almost like an illusion and it feels like you're filling out more space than you actually are. So it kind of tricks your brain into gaining confidence. A lot of the most popular melodies will look something like this. The notes will be really close to each other, but it's easy to get stuck when you're clicking in melodies like this. For example, imagine you click in these notes and then you get stuck right here. And then you're just like, oh, what am I doing? And then you end up scrapping the whole thing. If you're someone who likes to just rapidly click in notes without thinking, this is for you. Hear me out, this is weird, but I feel like it's a little easier. Alternate from low to high. You place a low note, the next one should be a high. I don't want to go like this, and then right here, I want to go all the way up here. It like makes your ears perk up. As soon as you place that high note, pay attention to how that makes you feel. Now place another low note, closer to the lower side. Sounds good enough. Move on. Now let's place a higher note. Good enough. And then another high note. And I'm kind of hearing that note. Even though you're randomly clicking in these notes, your brain is trying to make sense out of it. In this chaos of clicking in notes, listen to your brain and go, wait, what are you trying to do, brain? So you basically just bouncy ball back and forth, nudging things all over the place. Once you have your bunch of your random notes, copy and paste them over. Take the bottom note and just move it. And notice how you don't have to change any of these notes. It can also help to do this with a pretty simple sound. So like we'll take this key, bouncy ball back and forth like boom, 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 boom. Once you have your little scattered notes, repeat that thing and change the bottom note. My brain is tempted to like fix how the notes look and like fix where some of them start and where some of them end. Bouncy balling it helps you become okay with those imperfections. This one's called the gamer method. You basically want to build a habit of always using both of your hands like you're playing a video game. Keep one hand on the keyboard and one hand on the mouse at all times. Just hover your fingers over one or two notes and keep clicking random little things in. Left hand on keyboard, right hand on mouse. Press spacebar and leave it recording. Don't worry about quantizing, go for the next sound. It's called the gamer method for a reason. You don't want to pause the game. The same three notes that I've had my fingers on this whole time. And if I take my hand off of this keyboard, my hand goes right to a command. This hand's locked in and ready to do a command C, command V, command this, command that. Say you don't even like the thought of a keyboard because it's too musical for you, man. You're just trying to lock in on the laptop. Turn that thing over. But you're still gonna use your left hand and put it on the keyboard. And just click random notes until you find something you like. I like that one. Find one you like, don't move it off. Leave that finger. I like that one too. My fingers are just hovering over notes that I know sound good. So now I can just use those. And the point is just to keep it ugly because you can always just bounce it out after. Speed that thing up. Push it down. Your hands are just always ready to do something. This trains your ear to hear the rhythm and it can be a lot faster than the slow click, listen, click, listen. The moment you run out of creativity, your left hand is already locked and loaded, ready to play something in on the MIDI keyboard, click a key command. Here are a few of my favorite key commands I use all the time without even thinking. This one is called the blindfold method. And all you gotta do for this one is literally close your eyes. This can be while you're clicking in notes, while you're playing something on the keyboard. And it sounds weird, but when your eyes are off, your ears take over. This goes along well with the gamer method. You know how you're falling asleep, like as you're playing the game? As you're making melodies, don't be afraid to sleep a little bit. Go snap incoming MIDI. Now it automatically sounds good. I'm free to close my eyes and just... I forgot I'm making music, you know, not just looking at a screen. I feel like this works great with pads because it just creates this random ambience of spacey weirdness. Because sometimes you might see like some symmetrical little staircase or some zigzag in the piano roll that looks cool. And you're like, yo, this looks fire. This must sound good. But that is not always true. Sometimes the most ugly note placement is the one that hits the hardest. So I don't know what the heck this is, but it sounds cool. Just flip it, chop it, reverse it. It sounds like a notification. So I'm just gonna grab a bass and I'm just gonna mess around and close my eyes. It helps you be in the moment a little more and be more meaningful with what you decide to do next. As I'm listening to this, it kind of makes me feel like I'm about to be approached by a frog. Now that I paid attention and I took the time to think about that frog, even if that feels like the most random thing ever, like why am I thinking about a frog right now? I'm just trying to make a melody. That frog is gonna determine what I do next, whether I like it or not. I'm gonna look for a sound that sounds like a frog. That's a frog, that's a frog, let me talking. Paint a
little picture in your head. Ask yourself, what does that look like? And what does that sound like?
So if you really want to learn to trust your ears, just turn your eyes off. This one is called the BPM blender method. Basically just turn the BPM up a ton or down. Try 160, 200, or even 500. Then slowly bring it back to normal and see what sticks.
This melody's a little bit slower, so let's blend the BPM. And the bounce will change as you go. But like, that sounds pretty good. That's 229 BPM. Already love the BPM. At least give it a chance. You might end up taking the whole thing in a whole different direction.
Let me know if this has ever happened to you. I've always had trouble reading books. You ever been reading and you read a whole page of the book and then you're like, well, what the heck did I even just read? And then you got to go back and reread the whole page. So my dad, shout out my dad, he told me just read faster. When you're moving fast and you're in a rush, your brain stops the overthinking and just reacts. It works with reading, but it definitely also works when you're making beats. You might be totally uninspired. You're about to trash a project. Turn the BPM up. All of a sudden, you might start to hear what you like about the melody, what you don't like. It'll all kind of come to the surface. I know a lot of producers might be making loops and they're like, oh, let's turn the BPM up 5 or 10. No, turn it up 100 and see what happens. Grid less, groove more. Screw the grid. Your ears and the metronome are the new grid.
So I have a melody right here, and I'm gonna play that in, but I'm just gonna be human with it and kind of just feel it out. If I zoom in, that's pretty off. But as we continue to add other sounds, it almost starts to feel like everything's on its own grid. So I'm gonna just get some more chords in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now when I zoom in, everything's off. This can go with playing or clicking stuff in. Even as I'm clicking them in, they're just a little off like this, but that's fine. We just leave it.
Imperfection makes it relatable, and the human brain likes things that feel human. I promise the more you do this, the more you'll start going, that's good enough, and just leave it.
You might find a couple notes that you want to go shift Q and quantize, but you're like, these ones are good enough. I'll leave those.
Those are the exact moments right there when you're adding your own personal sauce and separating yourself from every other producer out there. And no one got the same bounce as you. Remember that. It's like handwriting versus typing. Handwriting's a little messier, but it's more personal. The imperfections that you decide to keep are what makes your music unique. This is the sandwich method. Let me show you how I like to build melodies. I think of it in 3 layers. The top, this is what you hear the most. It's usually the main melody or the lead, the part that people hum. Like if you show your mom a beat, she's not gonna say, ooh, nice bass line. She's gonna hum the top melody. And you have the middle, usually chords or something that feels like chords. This is the glue, the meat between the top and the bass. And then you have the bottom, the bass. You feel this more than you hear it. It's like the foundation. This top, middle, bottom concept is something I constantly come back to. Most producers start with chords or a top melody, but not many people start with the bass line. Building over a bass line was always the hardest thing for me.
So I start with like some crazy bass line like this.
I'll make a cool bass pattern, but then I'll get stuck making the chords or a top melody that actually fits on top. Something I've been using that really helped out with that is this co-producer plugin.
Here's what it looks like. It's pretty simple. All you do is click this button. I'm gonna press spacebar and let it listen to what I just made. And then select your key right here. What do I want? I'm just gonna be polite and ask for a crazy lead. This is why it's fire, because watch, I can leave this playing. Good. And look, you just drag it in. All right, I'm gonna keep that one, and then I also like that first one. It's just fire how you don't have to stop, like, as you're going. Maybe I just want this part. Maybe it could go right here. Ooh, wait, that's hard. Sparkly art. Let's see what it gives me this time. Sliding synth. That's hard. Why does this whole part sound crazy? Bounce all that out. Maybe reverse it. Now, can I have it listen to that? Crazy synth bass. I'm gonna ask for female vocal. Bro, what? Beautiful grand piano. Should I reverse it again?
awesome about this is it plays loops in real time and snaps them to your key and tempo. It still feels like you have full creative control. Thanks to Output for sponsoring this video. If you want to try out CoProducer, they're offering a free 7-day trial. I'll put the link in the description. Try it out. This is the recycle method. It's about saving good pieces of your melodies as you work. Let's be real. Once you press this red X, you're never coming back. Get everything you need from it so that even if you never come back to it, you squeezed all the creative juices out of it. Say you just click this in, and you're like, it's kind of hard. Right as you stop, Shift Command M and just spam a bunch of letters, send it to your desktop. Like I have MIDIs just racked up. And you can see like this is my real life, bro. I got MIDIs on my desktop, just all named
QFQ.
Every couple days, I'll drag them into another folder, rename these, clean them up. And also, maybe I drag in a MIDI from MIDI Mania. And I'm like, all right, I like that top melody. What if I just take the top and then maybe I reverse that? Like, that's kind of hard. And then I could just put some different notes under it. Put some different chords under. Look how different it was. This is the original one. And look, that's a whole different MIDI. And in a matter of seconds, something that was old turkey is new turkey. We're just reviving turkeys out here left and right, man. When I look back at my finished melodies, I never go, oh, I recognize that MIDI. Because it always gets changed so much in the process. Using a MIDI is like making a pizza, but the dough is already made. Because who wants to make the dough, you know? You just want to spin the pizza. Sacrifice a little bit of time early in your melody making process to save you time later. Spend a little bit of time finding the right dough so the pepperonis just sink right into it. Even if you absolutely hate the MIDI, just playing with that dirt forces you to turn it into something fresh. Next one, pitch party method. Pitch your whole melody up or down a few semitones. The idea is to trick your brain as you're making the melody into thinking that it's hearing something brand new. I used to be scared to do this because I'd be like, I don't want to pitch it around. I already love this pitch. What if I forget what pitch it's at and then I can't get it back? If you really like the pitch so much, how are you going to forget which pitch it was? Pitching everything around resets your expectations and forces you to kind of reconsider whether what you're making even sounds good or not. Basically what you're going to do is just highlight all the melodies and click this, transpose, boom, +1. Or you can do it in here. I can just click transpose, down 2. Dun, dun, dun. I got what I needed from that floor. Let's keep moving up the elevator. And then maybe I hear like a lead right here. And you're just kind of riding the elevator. You're like, hey, I'm glad we came to this floor because we got this now. Pitch around, ride the elevator, see where it takes you. See what you scoop up at the different floors. The reason this works is because your brain gets used to hearing sounds pretty fast. You're never going to think of the same melody that you thought of on this floor that you would on this floor. This one I call the grab and go method. The idea here is that sound selection should be fast. You know when the pizza delivery guy is outside or DoorDash is here, you're not digging around for your favorite shoes. You're just grabbing the first pair that you see so you can quickly get outside and grab the pizza. The shoes don't matter, the pizza matters. Put on whatever shoes you got and go get the pizza. You do not need the perfect sound to start. You just need one that sparks something. Say I want to start with a piano. I'm just gonna literally grab the first piano I can find, drag it in. Might as well bouncy ball method it real quick. I'm hearing a flute. Just grab the first one you can find. Part of me wants to keep looking through these flutes. I want to put a bell next. I'm not gonna risk looking through these flutes and losing my creative flow. I'd rather just get to the bell. If you're feeling creative melody-wise, always lay it down rather than dig through sounds and potentially lose your idea. It does help to have a go-to folder of sounds that you trust. So when you hit that moment when you're like, oh, I need something plucky right here. Oh, that brass would go crazy right here. You know where to look. But yeah, there's always going to be those moments when you're like, all right, this sound is getting repetitive. This sounds annoying now. I'm kind of done with this. Instead of just scrapping the whole melody, figure out what you do like about it. Maybe you drag in a one shot that you like because it's nice and wobbly, but it's just a little too bright. Cool. And now that tells you that you don't need a whole new idea. You just need a less bright version of your wobbly one shot. Sound selection should feel like, oh, I know exactly what I need for this part. Not like, oh, time to sit here and dig around for 6 hours for a sound to figure out what works. If it's starting to feel like a chore, chances are you need to spend more time gathering sounds that work well together and figure out why they work well together. Quick polish method. Don't wait until the end of making a melody to start reaching for the EQ. There's one thing I've noticed after working with multi-platinum producers, they EQ as they go. It's such a good habit. You'll get way better at spotting when there's too much high end or too much low end. But here is the thing. Do not use some flashy visual EQ. It's just going to teach you to rely on your eyes. Instead of sitting there all confused looking at this audio waves and this Jimmy Neutron secret science lab type of stuff, use some EQ that looks super simple and it only has like 4 knobs. Honestly, I do not love mixing, but I do love enjoying the sound of what I'm making while I'm making it. The better your melody sounds while you're making it, the more confident you'll be in your creative decisions. Got this little piano going, but I know I want to add in a lead. A lead is generally going to be a little
little bit higher. This piano is kind of bright and in your face, so I want to take out some of that high stuff. I'm just gonna dig around and just make a little pocket. And now I have all this room to put the lead. And I'm just constantly using this little EQ right here. It's just so easy and accessible. Because the reason it'll sound super bad when you pull this up is because there's too much going on in one spot. Just listen, wait for it to be really ugly, and just turn it down. You don't want to spend too much time EQing and fixing things up while you're making melodies. However, if you don't spend any time at all, sounds will start to pile up in one area. Little fixes that you make on the fly definitely add up.
The hum first, click later method. Some of my favorite melodies I made started as voice memos. Something about those ideas that you get when you're away from your setup that's just like raw and unique. The reason why this works is because your voice is your fastest idea tool. It connects feeling and real emotion to a melody.
You never know where you're going to be when you get hit with a crazy idea. Imagine you're outside at the park and you hear a little melody in your head. Record a voice memo and plan exactly what you heard. And then build around your idea and turn it into its fullest potential.
Okay, the mute method. Muting things helps you see the bigger picture. You can really pinpoint what you like about your melody and what you don't. Maybe the chords are kind of ugly and you didn't realize until you step back.
If you're like me and you like to just spam melodies without thinking, this one's for you. Getting rid of stuff is the best thing you can possibly do. I added way too many melodies. Find your favorite pattern. So in this case, I think I definitely need this one. And then maybe this one. But I guess it was this. Like, these are doing too much, so just get them out. Sometimes your favorite melody is the one that needs to go.
Wanted to end this off right with some good words. I was reading earlier and it said, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Because sometimes it feels like, well, I have to worry about tomorrow, because if I don't worry about it today, then I'm going to wake up tomorrow and worry even more. And God is basically saying, don't worry about it at all. I also read, can any one of you add a single hour to your life by worrying? And it's like, honestly, probably not. I probably can't add an hour to my life by worrying, but that doesn't make it any easier to not worry. The truth is trusting God. The way to not worry is trusting God. Like, we can make plans, but our plans might not always go how we plan. It's important to remember that His plans are way better than any plans we got for ourselves. And God is like, He's so welcoming, you know? So it makes me want to show the same love that God shows to me, to other people. We can't do that when worrying is getting in the midst of all that. If you're worried about tomorrow, God's got your back. Thanks for watching this video. If you watched this thing all the way through, man, you're a real one. And we're all figuring this out together. So let me know what else you want to see, man. Melody wise, anything wise. I hope you have a blessed week. Keep your Bible in the tuck, and I will see you in the next one.